Good afternoon, welcome to Euro 2024 live on LFS. 3 games for you today, one from Group E and both Group D games for you this afternoon. We start with Slovakia taking on Ukraine, a 2 o'clock kickoff from Dusseldorf as Slovakia look to win 2 European Championship Finals games in their history. And Ukraine, well, they want to bounce back from that pretty embarrassing 3-0 defeat to Romania on match day 1, and they will bounce back this resilient Ukrainian side here this afternoon. Slovakia were a tough test for Belgium on match day 1, winning by 1-0. Ivan Schranz's goal in the 7th minute, enough to secure 3 points for Slovakia. They will want to add to that points tally today. 4 points, of course, the magic number in the group stages. No side has ever failed to qualify from the groups with 4 points. With the options of the 4 best thirds, that is even more impossible now. And Slovakia will know they need just a point from their final 2 games to secure that spot. But they want to get as high a position as you can. You want to face the best that you can in the round of 16. Also this afternoon we'll watch Poland taking on Austria. Both sides beaten on match day 1, looking to get on the board for the first time. That's at 5 o'clock. And the Netherlands take on France, worthy of a knockout game. But it's one of the top group games to keep an eye on. And both sides on 3 points after match day 1. We'll watch them a bit later on. This afternoon's teams. Let's start with Slovakia. Martin Dubravka continues in goal. A back 4 of Petr Pekarik, Denis Vavro, Milan Skriniar are the captain, continues alongside David Hanchko in defence. Midfield 3 unchanged again. Stanislav Lobotka, Juraj Kushka and Andrei Duda in midfield, with the front 3 also unchanged. Ivan Schranz off the right, Lukasz Harislin off the left, and Robert Bozhnik leading the line for Slovakia. For Ukraine, 4 changes, including their goalkeeper. We see Anatoly Trubin come in goal. Andrei Lunin, of course, was heavily criticised for that performance against Romania. He had 1 or 2 mistakes, the goalkeeper. He's been changed. In the back 4, Alexander Timchik, Ilya Zabarny, Mykola Midvienko and Alexander Zinchenko make up the defenders. Vladimir Brashko, Mykola Shaparenko and Georgy Sukhodov make the midfield, with a front 3 of Andriy Yarmolenko the captain, Mikhailo Mudryk from left wing, and Artem Dovbyk, who was feeding off scraps against Romania on match day 1. He starts up front for Ukraine. Key players off the bench as well for Ukraine, the likes of Yaremchuk, Sigankov, Stepanenko, who was dropped for this game, Stepanenko. And we'll see what those 4 changes ultimately do for this Ukrainian side, as we're going to have a moment of respect here for the General Secretary, as we did yesterday. The former UEFA General Secretary, Gerard Einer, who passed away, aged 81. And we'll have a moment of respect. A moment of applause being observed inside the stadium to remember Gerard Heiner. As we get ready for the football then, Merkur-Spiel Arena in Dusseldorf is awaiting. Our referee this afternoon is English referee Michael Oliver, joined by an English officiating team as well on the sidelines. Michael Oliver, who refereed one of the games on match day 1 that had a bit of controversy about it, a bit of VAR drama, typical of the English officials, as anybody that watches the Premier League will know. And let's hope for a calm day today. Slovakia in all blue. Ukraine, of course, in their traditional all yellow. They had to change their strip from the first game. Romania were in yellow, but they've gone back to their traditional yellow. Ukraine and Slovakia in their all blue. Let's see whether Ukraine can get points on the board, or whether Slovakia can continue that really good start they had. That really strong defensive performance against Belgium. Really put Belgium to the sword last week. Countdown to kickoff. Underway, and we get going in Dusseldorf in this Group B clash, where Ukraine know they need at least something from this game if they want to secure and keep their hopes of a knockout place alive before they play Belgium on match day 3. Belgium will have the same task against Romania tomorrow. By the end of today, if this ends in a draw or Ukraine win, Belgium would be bottom of the group heading into their game against Romania tomorrow. But we saw with Slovakia how strong a side they actually are. We've talked about all the way through the competition of how the sides that have kind of hinted at being the sides that are pretty kind of probably will finish 3rd or 4th, maybe not find their way through, the lesser sides. They've shown a lot more quality than maybe expected and given a few shocks, but this has been the shock group so far, Group E. There always is that group where the traditional lower ranked sides end up getting a good result, get off to a good start, and might cause a bit of a shock in Belgium. We've always said there's a big team that does falter at the group stages of these tournaments. Belgium find themselves in a position where they've 2 games to rescue that. They get 2 wins, they'll more than likely finish in the top 2, if not top of the group with that result, and it will be a battle of the rest. But they have all that work to do, Belgium. The difference is Romania and Slovakia have the points on the board, and you can have all the quality you want on paper, but it's the points that matter the most. There's Harrislin to break down the left here for Slovakia. First real attack forward. Back it comes into midfield now. Right to the right hand side for Pekarik. Out to Schranz. Pekarik. Back across from Lobotka. Really good. Dispossessed in the middle there, and Mudryk tried to break forward, but nicely mopped up there by the Slovakian midfield. Although Duda's ball is a dangerous one, a loose one, and a late challenge there from Yarmolenko will give Slovakia the free kick. Harrislin was the one tracking back to get the ball. He actually just shielded the ball out for a throw-in, but he gets the free kick out of it. Yarmolenko's late challenge. Under Yarmolenko coming into captain Ukraine this afternoon, the Dynamo Kyiv man, former West Ham player, former Borussia Dortmund player as well. Played at Borussia Dortmund for just 1 year before signing for West Ham in 2018 for £17.5 million. Spent 4 years in East London before joining Al Ain on a free in the UAE in 2022, before joining Dynamo Kyiv on a free in July 2023 in his home country, as many Ukrainians have after the invasion from Russia. But we're not going to get political, but that was the idea. Throw in for Slovakia. Well won by Juraj Kushka. Well blocked there by Alexander Zinchenko, who will play at left back. Played it in midfield at times for Ukraine during their qualifying campaign, and that kind of inverted full-back role that we've seen many teams over the last year try and add to their team. Bring either their left back or their right back into that inverted role. Just an offside flag up there. Wandering offside from the Slovakian forward, so it will be a Ukraine free kick. Well, that'll be the competition this afternoon, about Ukraine and their resilience and their kind of grit and determination that they usually have. They showed very little to none of it against Romania. They really empty against Romania. They got that early goal against them, and Ukraine just really couldn't fight back. It's a lovely ball forward though. Yarmolenko brought it down, but just straight offside as the ball came over the top, and the flag goes up there. Really confident back four there, stepping up well, all in line with each other. Hansko, Skriniar and Vavro there, and played Yarmolenko offside. Good defending. Sam says he's got the money on Ukraine. Well, that's the thing. You wouldn't bet against them, but the Slovakian side have given us an entertaining start to the tournament with their big shock against Belgium, the first real big shock of the tournament so far. It wasn't just their kind of defensive duties that they did against Belgium that were so impressive. They did create a lot of chances themselves, and Belgium at times looked really struggling against them. Off the ball, that's nice from Mudryk to come a bit deeper. Around the right hand side it comes to Timchik, looking to lift it in. Bouncing around the box, not cleared away. Zinchenko, Mudryk. And a challenge in there as Mudryk was trying to win the ball. And Dovbyk there was involved, so it will be a free kick to Slovakia inside their own 18-yard box. And Vavro will just take this free kick, but despite their defeat in match day one, those Ukrainian fans certainly jumping up and down in that far corner. They're in a good mood today. Put that defeat behind them and want to see their side perform today. Here's Dubravka. Vavro. To Martin Dubravka. Milan Skriniar. Very experienced defender, Skriniar. Paris Saint-Germain man. It's a great captain's performance against Belgium from Skriniar. Well marshalled that defence and had his players running here, there and everywhere in their own box. Very committed, determined performance. Here's Andrzej Duda. Hansko, nice work round the corner. Looks to cross it in, and that one too close for Trubin, who will gather pretty comfortably there for Ukraine. Ball come flying across the 6-yard box, and something off catch for Anatoly Trubin, who, as I mentioned in the opener, has come in for Andrei Lunin, the 22-year-old Benfica man. Trubin came through the Shakhtar youth team, joined Benfica in the last season for an undisclosed fee, and in the Portuguese league last season, 28 appearances, keeping 13 clean sheets. Anatoly Trubin, so performing at a very good level for his club. Slovakia comfortable on the ball at the moment. Have dominated the early possession, over 60% of it. Skriniar tries to switch it out to Pekarik. Nicely taken by Schranz, tracking back, and Pekarik under pressure. It's good work from Lobotka just to pass it back to his keeper to ensure Slovakia keep the ball. Well, they do say never change a winning formula. And a winning team, that's exactly what the Slovakian head coach Francisco Calzona has done. An unchanged side. Hansko trying to link up with Harrislin there. Well recovered by Ukraine. They want to try and counter here. Here's Yarmolenko down the right. He's got the runner through the middle, and it was Alexander Timchik. But the ball just two over hits and easily gathered by Dubravka. But good counter-attacking move there from Ukraine. Won the ball back in their own half and quickly broke on Slovakia. Ultimately the final ball let them down, but good attempt. Much brighter. It's lovely between the lines there. Lobotka, Kuchka. Out it comes to Harrislin on the left-hand side. Oh, that's lovely work in between the lines in this shot. Straight at Trubin, who clears away, but that was wonderful solo run. And they're coming back at them here, Slovakia. Here's Schranz. Out to Pekarik. Whips the ball in. Headed away by Matvinenko. Given away again, wastefully. Duda. Around the corner. Hansko's cross. Took a deflection. Schranz. Great save by Trubin. That was a wonderful reaction save by the Ukrainian keeper to keep the ball out of his own net. They really looked wilting there, Ukraine. They gave the ball away multiple times trying to play out. Slovakia came straight back at them. And the ball whipped in by Hansko. It took a weird deflection. I think it was Ilya Zabarny in there. Took a deflection into the air. Back post that came to Schranz. Struck it first time. Ivan Schranz. And a really strong bit of goalkeeping from Trubin to keep it out. As now Mudryk tried to make the run in behind. But again too high. And easily gathered by Dubravka. But Slovakia starting to turn the screw a bit. Put a bit more pressure on the Ukrainian defence. So far they've held firm. Lovely work by Kuchka. Out it comes. Nice link up with Schranz there. And Pekarik with a deep cross towards the back post. Harrislin will pick it up on the left. Back to Duda. Infield run coming, but Duda, edge of the box, wants to strike himself. But that one dragged wide of the left post by Andrei Duda there. But Slovakia's movements looking really bright at the moment. That move down the right-hand side, the combination between Pekarik, Schranz and Kuchka down that right flank was really impressive. And Pekarik's deep cross collected by Harrislin, cut it back to Duda and had the opportunity there. Trubin's made one or two good saves so far. The first one from Harrislin, the lovely solo run, weaving his way into the box and took a lovely strike. Trubin made a good save, and then the follow-up, the one after, a few minutes later through Ivan Schranz. Both from good ranges. But again, good saves by the Ukrainian keeper. Again, they look a bit lethargic, Ukraine. Slovakia, in comparison, full of energy. So high press there by Lobotka. Allowed to turn was Brashko, and Shaparenko now down the right-hand side it comes. The cross comes in and just behind Dovbyk. Back it will be picked up now. Shaparenko to Zinchenko. Edge of the box. Shot was high up there by Sudakov, and the shot will come from distance that time from Brashko, but easily gathered by Dubravka. And Brashko, one of the four changes for Ukraine in midfield. I don't think any of the Ukrainian players could have complained if they were taken out of the team for this one. Probably the only one that couldn't complain was probably Dovbyk, because he got very little of the ball, the striker, in the first game. He has continued up front. Artem Dovbyk. Well, I have to say, one man who's been hot on the transfer headlines this morning and over the last few days. David Hansko, of course, we're expected to see that with these European Championships. The scouts will be watching closely for their clubs. David Hansko's been scouted. Looks like Liverpool are interested, I'm hearing. As Ukraine try and come forward again. Strong defending in there, nicked away by Kuchka. Tracking back and defending well. Here's David Hansko. Get the throw in there, down the left-hand side. But he has been linked. Hansko. Now we know players get linked all the time with clubs. Doesn't mean that there's anything in it, but certainly interest in the Slovakian left-back. 26-year-old, right age. Of course, Feyenoord has that link with the new Liverpool head coach, Arne Slot, having played under him at Feyenoord for 2 seasons. So there is that link there. Could be an interesting one to keep an eye on in the future. Here's Pekarek. Back to Vavro. Well, so far, Ukraine on the counter-attack have been the most threatening. But Slovakia have dominated the ball and got into the good areas. Their combinations have been really fascinating to watch. As Lobotka gets the brick of the ball and he's dragged down there on the edge of the box. That time it was Brashko. And it will be a free kick to Slovakia. Did well, Lobotka. Thought he'd lost the ball and he just got it right back. He manoeuvred his way through and found the space. Tried to break forward and Brashko with a slight pull on his left shoulder. Drags back the Slovakian and will set up a free kick here. Lobotka winning that free kick, the Napoli midfielder. Played the full 90 minutes against Belgium on match day 1. Not midfield. Hansko and Duda over this free kick for Slovakia. Officially gathered at 22 metres or 21.5 yards, I would say. 21 yards. In and around that. And there's a 4-man wall for Ukraine. Sudakov's on the floor. Then they've got 2 alongside him. A 4-man wall from Slovakia ahead of that. Hansko goes for it. And good save by Trubin. Parries it wide for the throw-in. Nicely made by Hansko. Really good effort. Tried to find the bottom left corner, but Trubin had it marked all the way. And he made some really good saves so far. Anatoly Trubin. Slovakia have come out fighting and battling as Hansko takes the throw in. Harashlin looking to catch out Ukraine's defence here. And Shran sits in. Headed in. 2 in 2 games for Ivan Šranc. And Slovakia lead. They've been the most threatening side since the opening minutes. Trubin's had countless saves to make, but he couldn't make the save on that one. Quick throw in by Hansko. Harashlin flicks it to the back post. And Ivan Šranc with a header into the far corner to give Slovakia the lead. This has been a bright start from the team who beat Belgium on match day 1 and are leading Ukraine here early on in this one by a 1-0. And it's the man who scored their only goal of the competition so far who's added a second to that and becomes only the second player in the tournament to get a second goal alongside Jamal Musiala. So certainly a potent striker, Ivan Šranc. And he's already got 2 pretty good goals and pretty huge goals for Slovakia. Ivan Šranc could be sending Slovakia into the knockouts. A win here this afternoon would be huge. It would secure a top 2 spot for Slovakia in the group. It wouldn't win them the group. They still to play Romania on match day 3. That would be a real battle on match day 3, but they would secure qualification, Slovakia, with a win here against Ukraine. They're already 1 step to that. Still a long way to go though. But it doesn't look like an early goal will hamper Slovakia. They scored in the 7th minute against Belgium. A resolute defensive performance kept the Red Devils out. They're going to have to put in a similar performance here defensively to keep Ukraine out. Timchik, again the cross in is overhit and Slovakia can clear, but good challenge in the middle by Shaparenko to get it back to Zabarny. Ukraine need to play it through the lines. That was a good combination, but they had to take the touch there on Alexander Timchik. Bit annoyed, but wasn't too far away from him. Should have made something of that. Throw into Slovakia. And it's early in the game, the Ukrainian fans were bouncing. Well, Slovakian fans are going to respond to that, and they're the ones bouncing inside this stadium now. What a story in Group E. Slovakia 45th ranked in the world. Certainly not one of the lowest ranked sides of the competition, but they're not one of the big teams. They're not one of the expectants to get through the group stages. But the performance they've shown in the game against Belgium, strong defensive performance, but so far against Ukraine here, it's been their attacks that have been the most threatening and been the most impressive so far. How fluidly they've moved up front. How many saves they've made Trubin make early doors. They've had 4 shots on target from their 5 shots so far, Slovakia, so certainly accurate when they get into the right areas. Here's Pekarik. Schranz. Well marshalled there by Mudryk. Back to Zinchenko. Now trying to break forward there. Taken away by Brashko. Again, one back by Slovakia. Pekarik. Back to Vavro. Now to Kushka. We're not talking about an inexperienced Slovakia side. We could go through the side and a lot of players with a lot of experience. 2 of their players in the squad with over 100 caps. Petr Pekarik and Juraj Kushka. 37-year-old Kushka and 37-year-old Pekarik. 2 very experienced players in the team. Down that right hand side for Slovakia, and so far their combination with Ivan Schranz has been pretty impeccable so far. 30-year-old Ivan Schranz. His 4th goal for his international team here this afternoon. In good form. There's Mudryk trying to get forward for Ukraine. Going through the middle and tried to strike from distance there, Mikhailo Mudryk, and well, should have opted against that because it went skying into the crowd. Really poor effort that from the Chelsea man. Just seeing Hansko's free kick just before the goal actually, because that save from Trubin to keep the free kick out ended up getting them the throw in, which they took quickly and ended up scoring from. So David Hansko very heavily involved in Slovakia's play there. Had the shot on target and took the throw in that got them the goal. Might just increase his value a bit, which won't be to the delight of any of the clubs wanting to buy him. Feyenoord might be asking for a bit more money now. Pekarik's ball up and got its way to Boznik, but foul committed in there by Boznik as he brought the ball down. Just clipping the heels of Mykola Matvienko. And Ukraine got the free kick from that position, but they really offered minimal attack and threat so far, Ukraine. It's, as I said, the majority of their attacks have been counters. And on the break, when they're in possession, they really struggle to get it between the lines and get it past a very determined Slovakia team. You have bodies flying everywhere, tracking back, covering the spaces. Just closing them down time and time again. Here's Duda. Pekarik. Vavro. Cross to Milan Skriniar. To Denis Vavro. Here's Kushka. Under pressure in there was Lobotka, but did well to play it off. Slovakia comfortable on the ball at the moment. Vavro looks to go for the long diagonal. Out to Hansko. Nice first touch. Put Timchik under pressure. Cuts the ball back and the cross comes in, but no one was in there. And Zinchenko can just head that one back to Trubin, but really good run down the left from Hansko. Long diagonal from Vavro right onto his foot. Really good first touch. Timchik under pressure. Cut it back and then the cross went in from Harislin, but there was no one there to get on the end of it. But the Ukrainian defender, Alexander Zinchenko. Zinchenko. Back to Matvienko. Now back to Trubin. Tried to play out here, Ukraine. And Slovakia seem to be comfortable at pressing that. Dealing with those situations at the moment. Ukraine really penned in as they hoof it up the pitch now. As they come under so much pressure. And Mudryk well marked. And again Slovakia win the ball back. It was Vavro that time that won the header. As the ball comes out to Skriniar. Lobotka. Pekarik. Lobotka. Really good from Slovakia. Comfortable at the moment. Comfortably in charge of this football match. Ukraine just, again, as I said, struggling to get on the ball and keep it. As Harislin tried to break forward there. He gets the break of the ball. Half-hearted challenge. Driving forward. Squares it across. Duda on the spin. Goes down on the edge of the box, but fair challenge, said the referee. Looked like Duda kind of just tripped while he was spinning there on the edge of the D, but I have to see a closer angle of it. The referee had a good view of it, so trust his judgment, but I have to see the replay to fully confirm it. Of course, Skriniar. But again, that really committed play in between the lines from Slovakia, getting them in those tight spaces where they can pick up the ball in those pockets and really cause Ukraine a lot of harm. And it's not only that, they're not rushing it, they're not kind of impatient with their pass. They'll take it short and they'll slow the game down if they need to, but the crucial factor is it's all in their control. That's a lovely ball by Skriniar. Hansko with a nice ball, or the nice run. Took it down nicely, but couldn't find Harislin, and Ukraine do well to break out. Sudakov trying to get them forward. Just about crosses the halfway line. Still struggling to find a pass. Does eventually play it off to Shaparenko. But again, comes right back to Matvienko. He's threaded it through nicely to Mudryk. Ball in behind. Dovbek to get on the end of it. Chops around his man and tried to have the shot, but bodies on the line there from Slovakia. Put it behind for the corner. Just trying to see who it is. Yeah, it was Skriniar that got beaten past, and Pekarik just sliding back towards his own goal. Sticks a left leg in and puts it behind for the corner. Committed defending there. And a chance for Zinchenko to get the ball in the box for Ukraine. The first corner of the match will be a Ukrainian one. Zinchenko to take. Left-footed delivery. Cleared at the front post, but cleared behind by Boschnik. Another corner will come. Same side. Zinchenko goes short this time. Finds Mudryk. Mudryk to lift it into the box. Again headed away by Slovakia. Back to Mudryk, whose shot deflected, and the man throwing a leg at it there, Yarmolenko, could only drag it wide. Goal kick. But better from Ukraine. don't get it the right way. It's cleared away in the first phase, but the press there, really good for Mudryk. Wins it back in the second phase, takes the shot again, and when it takes a deflection, you never know where it could end up. But a bit better from Ukraine there, winning the set pieces and sustaining the pressure. Just the final pass of the finish was what let them down there, but much more promising. Certainly the response that their fans will want to going behind. Nice ball through the lines. Duda picks it up, turning around to find Hanchko. Down to Harrislin. Back to Duda. Lobotka. Back to Skriniar. Here's Harrislin trying to break through the middle, trying to find Duda there, but again, well, closed down. Well, that's really good anticipation from Pekarik. The ball just ahead of Strands, and it's cleared out by Brajko for a throw-in. 30 minutes gone in Dusseldorf, the Merkur-Spiel Arena. Slovakia 1, Ukraine 0. Ivan Stranz's goal, having Slovakia ahead. It's a nice throw-in move, and will go behind. It will be a Slovakian corner. See it again. Stranz flicks it on. Just misses Zinchenko. Goes through, and I think that's a goal kick. Kuchka might have the last touch there. It looks like he does. It looks like Kuchka has the last touch. For corner anyway. Slovakia won't care that they've got a cheap corner. It probably looked like a goal kick, but nonetheless, Duda will be over to take it in a moment. The referee again. See this at least once a game. From corners, just the referee having a chat with some of the players. Some pushing and shoving, telling them to focus on the ball. Is Andrei Duda to take this corner then? As Slovakia try and confuse the Ukrainian defence. Ball in, and there's going to be a free kick to Ukraine there. Push on Timchik will give Ukraine the free kick. All that for nothing. Well, these two teams were drawn together in the 2018-19 UEFA Nations League, the first edition of the competition. Their latter encounter, their first to be decided by more than a single goal margin. Slovakia won 4-1 in Trnava in November 2018. Albert Rushnak and Juraj Kuška struck in the first half. Yevgen Konoplanka pulled one back for Andriy Shevchenko's visitors 2 minutes after half-time. Adam Zrelek and Robert Mack quickly made the game safe for Slovakia, winning by 4-1 on that occasion. Ukraine have rare possession in Slovakia's half here. Timchik, Shaparenko, back to Matvienko. Ilya Zabarny to Timchik. Now it comes to the left-hand side for Zinchenko. Ukraine again having to go backwards to their centre-backs. Zabarny looking for a pass forward, has very little in front of him and has to just switch back to his keeper. Really good pressing by Slovakia there, pushing them back into their own half, denying them those clear paths to a teammate in the midfield. Pressing the centre-backs well. Oh, Sudakov's found a bit of a space and will spread that one beautifully out to Yarmolenko. Takes the touch, makes the infield run, plays it forward. Dovbek with a cut back. Still alive, half cleared that time. The shot is off the post. The follow-up is scrambling around still. Zinchenko blocked again, and it will be, the flag will go up anyway. After all that, I have to say, I think it was Alexander Timchik that had the shot that hit the post from the far side. See it again, it's good move down from the right hand side by Yarmolenko, driving in field, linking up with Dovbek, flicks it back. Yarmolenko couldn't reach it, Vavro to clear, half clears it. Timchik picks it up on the right hand side, has the shot all the way across goal, hit the left post, and it got a bit of a scramble to get it away, Slovakia, but there was a flag up anyway in the build up there. I think it took a touch from Dubravka. Might have touched it onto the post. Let's see it again. Maybe. Tiny bit of a touch there from Martin Dubravka. So we'll credit the goalkeeper there. Could have given Slovakia a huge touch to deny Ukraine a chance there. Harishlin. Back to Hansko. The rain starting to make an appearance. Skriniar riding the challenge well. Finds Duda. Through the middle it comes. Rosta Kuchka. Now Duda. Space down the left hand side again. Hansko's made that run. And will lift it in early, but easy enough for Trubin to gather. Under no real pressure there. Simple enough catch for the Ukrainian keeper. Well, Slovakia took 4 points off Ukraine on their way to qualifying for Euro 2016. Max first half goal giving Jan Koshak's visitors a 1-0 win in Kyiv, September 2014. Their second fixture against the Ukraine side, coached by Mikhailo Fomenko in Zelina, exactly 12 months later, ended goalless. So only one goal between the sides in that qualifying campaign. That's really good from Mudryk. Run forward, and Dubravka had to make the gathering. Had to make the save, but that was a nice ball down the left channel for Ukraine. Into Mudryk's path, making him a threat, getting them to run on the ball. Ukraine may be having one or two glimpses at the end of this first half where they can pose a threat to Slovakia. But yet, it's the men in blue that still lead. Skriniar. Lobotka. Vavro. And a play through the lines. Nice turn, but Kuchka was just slightly pulled back there by Brashko. Will be a Slovakian free kick. Less than 10 minutes of the first half to go. Slovakia leading by a 1-0 through Ivan Shrance's goal. Header at the back post. Despite having won more of the previous meetings, Ukraine, they have scored less than Slovakia. Slovakia 10 goals, 9 for Ukraine in their previous 8 meetings. Ukraine have won 3 of those 8. Slovakia just the 2. 3 draws as well in their previous battlings. As Ukraine starting to show a bit more promise here. Another ball into the box. Half cleared again. Maybe a bit impatient there by Hansko. Giving it away. Trying to find the pass in. Shaparenko had nowhere to go. Left foot across him by Yarmolenko, but overhit that one and couldn't find any of the Ukrainian attackers in the in and around the 6-yard box, and ushered out for a goal kick. But the ball down the left-hand channel, really nice into Mudryk's path. Vavro was beaten for pace. Milo Mudryk just easing his way past him, getting one-on-one with Dubravka. A really strong goalkeeping from Martin Dubravka. It's good anticipation from the Slovakian keeper. We talked about Trubin, and I want to talk about him coming into this game and how he's going to perform. He's performed well so far. Martin Dubravka, of course, the Newcastle United goalkeeper, 35. Kept 5 clean sheets in Slovakia's qualifying campaign. Martin Dubravka has already kept 1 clean sheet in the Euros so far against Belgium. I'd love a second. Again, Schrantz tried to come forward there but run out of room. Shot to the Slovakian fans. Certainly singing in the rain at this moment in time. Can't blame them. Could be heading for 6 points from their first 2 games. A perfect start to the tournament for Slovakia. It would be a turn up for the books if they were to win both games against probably the 2 favourites to top the group, Belgium and Ukraine, in terms of quality on paper. But as we know so well, football isn't played on paper. But who shows up on the day and performs, and so far Slovakia have performed better than Belgium in their game, and at the moment performing better than Ukraine in this one. 5.5 to go in the first half. Ukraine maybe just coming out of their shell a bit more, showing a bit more of themselves towards the end of this first half. Here they come through the middle again. Nice ball from Sudakov. Out it comes to Zinchenko. Bodies flooding into the box. Zinchenko's cross is well cleared away by, I think it was Skriniar that headed that one away. Or Hansko actually it was. Got away from Dovbyk. And he wins the free kick there, David Hansko. Just see it's a really threatening cross by Zinchenko into the box. Dovbyk was threatening and Hansko threw himself at that one. It's a really good diving header. Really strong defending. Made a crucial block on the goal line against Belgium, David Hansko. Remember in that game Belgium had 2 goals disallowed as well. 1 for offside and 1 for handball. So you could argue they rode their luck a bit, Slovakia, but both decisions were correct, and the offside a fair one, and handball maybe some would say it was a bit harsh, but handball's handball. Zabarny. Shaparenko. Out to Timchik. And we'll look to break forward here. Here's Yarmolenko. Chops past this man Hansko, but will be pulled back for a free kick. The referee just informing Hansko of that. He swung a left leg out there and just slightly caught Yarmolenko. He actually caught him in the face on the way through. That's why the referee's given the free kick. The stray left hand from Hansko catching the Ukrainian in the face. And he just kind of leaves his hand there, Hansko. It's not much in it, but it is a foul. Free kick to Ukraine. Mudryk and Zinchenko over it. Chelsea and Arsenal players looking to try and find one of their teammates in the middle. This will be a good moment to get an equaliser for Ukraine just before half time. Certainly changed the team talk at the interval. Zinchenko left-footed delivery. Strong goalkeeping by Dubravka to get both hands to that one to parry it. And Harishlin will just do really well tracking back there and let that one run for a goal kick. Really threatening from Zinchenko. Tried to catch the keeper out. Made him think he's going to try and cross it in. And he went direct for goal himself there, Zinchenko. And good spot by Dubravka. Very easily could have got caught out from that position, but was very attentive and made the strong save, parried it, and ends up getting himself a goal kick out of it with his defenders again defending well. Long ball forward. Schrantz was the closest. Slovakia have maybe lost a bit of control in midfield. Just as I say that, Brashko loses out, and that's lovely from Duda. Round the corner, here's Harishlin. Can he find a great breakthrough? And this shot from the edge of the box. A save by Trubin. Goes behind for the corner, that had to make that save. Again, really good. Harishlin steps inside. Zabarny takes the shot. Took a slight deflection of one of the Ukrainian defenders. Try and see who it was. Tracking back, I think it was... Yeah, it was Brashko. Just off the bottom of his foot. took the pace off it, allowed Trubin to get the save made and put it for the corner. Again, they broke really well. Just as I said, Slovakia lost control of midfield. They won it back really well. Good press and dispossessing Brashko and broke free. Duda with a cross. Headed away. The overhead kick was completely forgettable, that one. That was one to forget for Kuchka. As Lobotka gets the better of Mudryk and secures possession once again for Slovakia. It's those little duels that Slovakia are slightly getting the edge of. When Ukraine want to come forward, when they want to break, need to be more physical in those moments, more aggressive. Ukraine, if they want to beat past this really rigid Slovakian defence. Yet so far, heading into half-time, this one, with the same scoreline they had against Belgium. Dubravka to Skriniar. Down the line to Pekarik. Does well to avoid the challenge and finds Duda. Now Lobotka. Out to the left-hand side. That's really nice. Hansko down the left-hand side. Harishlin's made the run again. Down the left flank. Puts the cross in. So Barney had to put a left leg to it. And Harishlin trying to win the ball back. Committing the foul on Timchik there. Will be a free kick to Ukraine. One added minute at the end of the first half. Yeah, it was actually Yarmolenko, the one that was fouled there. So not much additional time to come. Schrantz. Back it comes. We have Vavro, who will hoof it up the pitch. Headed down by Zinchenko. Brought down by Brashko, but has to go back to Zabarny. And Zinchenko. And there's the whistle from referee Michael Oliver. Half-time in Dusseldorf. And Slovakia are 45 minutes away from a knockout place at Euro 2024. 1-0 win against Belgium, and at half-time in Dusseldorf in the Merkur-Spiel Arena, it is Slovakia 1, Ukraine 0. Analysis on the way next. Nice ball in behind for Saka. Saka looking for the cross, headed on and in. What a header by Jude Bellingham. That's a lovely bit of work. And Bellingham with a booted header. No keeper stopping that one. And that is England taking the lead with practically their first chance of the game. And you can see that best goal reactions out now on YouTube from match day 1. 34 goals on match day 1, and we've picked the best of the goal reactions, and you can listen to them now. That's available on the LFS YouTube channel. Right, first half done and dusted in Dusseldorf, and Slovakia will be pretty pleased with that first half. A really positive performance from the first 45 minutes, similar to that that they proved against Belgium that they could deliver against a very good side. Ukraine could probably be a bit, well, they could be contented by their first half performance. Certainly not as bad as what it was against Romania, but at the same time, it's not much better at that. They still find themselves behind, and they still, if they lose this, would find themselves in a really difficult position heading into the final game to face Belgium with a possibility of having only 3 points and not being able to get through even if they beat Belgium. So it does still look a bit bleak for Ukraine at half-time, but there's still another second half to come. That game against Romania for Ukraine, they were only 1-0 down at that point, at half-time in that game, and they went on to concede their second and third goals in the first game. But I have to say, in the difference in the two performances, I'd say Ukraine may be a bit better, but ultimately still wasteful in the final third, not getting up the pitch enough, stepping off a bit too much against Slovakia at times in that game, allowing them too much space and time on the ball, allowing them to dictate the game really at their own tempo and at their own pace. Slovakia really didn't press high at all in that first half. When Slovakia did have the ball with their centre backs, Ukraine really didn't push up or try and impose themselves on them, or maybe try and close them down a bit, or try and at least force them back into their own half. They practically gave them the kind of verification to rule the roost in that first half, in a sense. For the first 25 minutes, they were running the show, Slovakia, completely. Their midfield were combining really well. Lobotka, Duda, Kuchka, that combination down the right-hand side between Pekarik, Kuchka and Schranz really worked nicely well. That triangle combination down the right flank really looked kind of very fruitful for Slovakia in the first half. Even down the left-hand side as well, that a good link up between Hanchko and Harislin, really working well down the left flank a couple of times as well. From the wide areas, they've looked comfortable, Slovakia. Through the middle, they've looked well controlled. So all round, pretty positive. The player that's probably had the least involvement for Slovakia in that first half was Robert Boschnik, their centre forward. Seems like Harislin and Schranz from the wide areas having a lot of dominance in the game. A lot of control from those wide areas coming at further infield and making those runs inside, which is making a threat for Slovakia and certainly posing a threat to Ukraine defensively so far. But again, it wasn't all their own way in that first half, Slovakia, so that's a positive that Ukraine can look at, in the sense that they've had the same amount of shots, ultimately, which is a bit of a shock to the system for me. Looking at the stats from that first half, it didn't feel like the same amount of shots, but ultimately they did, 7 apiece after the first half. So ultimately on that front, Ukraine, they've created decently well. Maybe had a bit less possession than they would have wanted, but at the same time, I think Slovakia have been really rigid, really strong, really stubborn defensively again. You know, very aggressive in their challenging Slovakia. It's really interesting to see, you know, going up for those headers, winning those battles, winning those first and second balls, really does make a massive difference in how you control a game. Constantly winning those battles, winning those moments, you know, being more aggressive, and that creates the confidence within the team. It creates that belief and the stability in the side to keep control of the match. Always getting the better hand out of those 50-50s, always getting the upper hand on the opposition will certainly grow you with confidence. And in the final third, in those shooting positions, Slovakia have looked efficient, looked really strong, very accurate. 5 of their 7 shots have been on target from that first half, so that proves that they are getting in the right areas and taking the right options, making the right decisions in the final third. I mean, before they scored, Slovakia, they scored the goal in the 17th minute, but even before they scored, they had 1 or 2 really good goal-scoring opportunities. I mean, a bit earlier on, Harislin had a really good shot from the left-hand side, saved, really good solo run, weaving into the box, really good save by Trubin. The other one down the right-hand side, the shot well saved by Trubin again. He's made some very good saves, some from distance, the save from the Hanchko free kick as well, that ended up going for the throw-in, that ultimately led to the goal. But again, the keeper can't really blame himself. They couldn't blame their keeper for that goal, Ukraine. It's just poor defending on the set piece. But ultimately, their keeper has come into the game under pressure after Andrei Lunin was dropped in the first game after making 1 or 2 mistakes. was dropped by the manager, Serhii Rebrov, and so far, Anatoly Trubin has performed to a good level. We look at his first half stats. Trubin, he's had 24 touches, 17 out of his 17 passes have been accurate, so 100% passing accuracy. He's prevented 1.5 goals in that first half, made 4 big saves, 2 from inside the box, ultimately in that first half. So a very good performance from the Ukrainian keeper in that first 45 minutes. Down the other end, Martin Dubravka's made 1 or 2 good saves as well. One-on-one with Mikhailo Mudryk is the one that comes to mind the most. Probably Ukraine's biggest threatening moment in that first half. Ultimately, in the end, they did pose a much more of a threat, Ukraine. They were, as the half went on, they got a bit more comfortable on the ball. They started to impose themselves a bit more. They did push up a bit more in the midfield. I said at one point that Slovakia had kind of lost control of the midfield. Ukraine wrestled it back off them and were starting to play a bit of football through the middle. And it was an improvement as the half went on from Ukraine. They grew into it, but at the same time, wasteful in the final third has just let them down again. They probably would have been maybe hoping they could have got an equalising goal just before half time, but there's still a very long way to go, so they'll not worry too much just yet. We're just going to take a quick look at the group because this could be a monumentous moment and we have to keep an eye on it. So let's have a look at the live table. So right hand column, middle box, and you can see Group E there, which as it stands at the moment will have Slovakia top of the group. 2 wins from 2, 6 points, 2 goals, 0 conceded, and will be comfortably through to the knockout stages. Second place Romania face Belgium tomorrow. Belgium, who are in third at the moment, with this scoreline as it is between these two, and Ukraine currently bottom, which would see Ukraine, as it stands, bottom of the group, having to rely upon a win on the final game of the group to secure a possible third place. However, a win for Belgium tomorrow would make that a very tough task, because it would see Belgium and Romania both on 3 points, Slovakia on 6, and it would mean that Ukraine would have to beat Belgium by a good scoreline on match day 3 to beat them on goal difference, and that would be a real turn up for the books. If Belgium win and then Ukraine win on the final day, we'll see what happens between Slovakia and Romania, but could see 2 big sides on their way out. That's why Group E is so interesting at the moment. It's those first match day results have really tested the 2 big teams and put them in a difficult position as we head towards the teams qualifying for the knockouts. And Slovakia will be joining Germany and Spain as it stands in the knockouts, with Spain win over their Italy last night and Germany's win over Hungary a day or 2 ago. We'd see those 2 be joined by Slovakia at full time. Second half still to come though, which could change anything. Ukraine win would be huge for them. Would put pressure on Belgium heading into tomorrow's match, or even a draw would put pressure on Belgium heading into that game against Romania. They would be buoyed from their 3-0 win over Ukraine on match day 1, so it's not going to be an easy roll up of the sleeves for Belgium. A simple kind of waltz in the park for them. And you can watch that tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on LFS. Tomorrow evening, Belgium against Romania, to see which of these 2 teams will react to the first matchday performance. 2 games to come for you a bit later on. 2 Group D games, which could have a very good outcome a bit later on. Netherlands and France could have the opportunity to qualify tonight for the knockouts with a win, depending on what happens between Poland and Austria in the earlier game. If that is a draw between those 2, then Netherlands and France with a win would secure a knockout place, but that's all still to be proven. Poland, Austria from 5, Netherlands, France from 8. Right, second half in Dusseldorf between Slovakia and Ukraine, where the Slovaks lead by a goal to 0, is on the way next. Nice ball in behind for Saka. Saka looking for the cross, headed on and in. What a header by Jude Bellingham. That's a lovely bit of work. And Bellingham with a booted header. No keeper stopping that one. And that is England taking the lead with practically their first chance of the game. Welcome back to Euro 2024 live, the second half from Dusseldorf on the way in a moment. Next game up for you is an interesting one. Poland against Austria. 5 o'clock kickoff. Poland and Austria both lost by a 1-goal margin to the Netherlands and France respectively on match day 1. Poland, who took the lead against the Netherlands, ended up faltering to Cody Gakpo's equaliser and Wout Weghorst's winner with 8 minutes remaining on the clock. Against that, Poland on match day 1 saw the Polish fall to defeat, and Austria, who worked ever so hard against France, only lost to an own goal from their own defender Max Werber's goal. Our own goal secured victory for France on match day 1. They both want to get off the mark, and they will face each other in about 2 hours' time in that one in Group D in Berlin, the German capital. Right. It is time for the second half. The players are back out on the pitch. And we're ready to get back and going. And there's a straggler here. Pekarik, one of the stragglers. The other one is Dubravka. Taking their time. Re-entering the pitch. There. Making everybody wait. Keeping us waiting patiently. Here in this one. Ukraine need a hearty performance in the second half if they're going to come back from this deficit. They struggled to do the same against Romania. Were 1-0 down at half time and ended up giving away 2 more goals in the second half. They don't want a repeat performance of that, Ukraine, because that really would give them a very minimal chance of any sort of knockout football to come in the coming weeks for them, and it would all but see their campaign come to an end, as there's an early clash of heads here. Zinchenko and Pekarik. So Zinchenko's back to his feet swiftly there. Ooh, very. That's a real battering of the two heads together. Pekarik's the one that's come off the worst of the two. Zinchenko was straight back to his feet right away, and Pekarik's the one that's just stayed down, so he's going to receive treatment at the moment. Time to tell you, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. Greatly appreciated that you join us here this afternoon. We're 40 games live, including all 4 quarterfinals, both semi-finals, and the live final on July the 14th from the Olympiastadion in Berlin. And also follow us on socials as well, on X, Instagram and TikTok. All the links and handles you need are in the live video description. So Pekarik's back to his feet after receiving a bit of treatment. He's on the sidelines. Zinchenko also on the sidelines. So they'll both be called back into action in a moment. So they give each other a high five there, just to settle that moment as we get back underway. And they're both waved back onto the field of play. Those two. Slovakia having to defend that long ball pumped up from the back there from Matvienko as they've played it through the lines quickly, and Bozhnik was the target. Well covered over by Zabarny. He's under pressure, still out there by Bozhnik. Right into his own corner flag, and it will be a Slovakian throw. Very committed centre forward play that from Robert Bozhnik. As I said, hadn't had much involvement in that first half in terms of the Slovakian players, but used his body, used his skill, holding Zabarny in at his own corner flag and putting it out for a Slovakian throw. Really strong centre forward play that. So an early throw down the right hand side here for Slovakia. Referee telling them to get on with it. That's a nice cut back, Pekarik. Again, hooked away that time by Matvienko. And one of the crowd kept that. Just going to throw the ball back down. Another throw in to Slovakia on the right hand side. Pekarik to take it. Brought down by Schrantz. Vavro with a cross. Boschnik was in, and he was just holding the Ukrainian defender there, so a free kick will go the way of the men in yellow. Well, I did mention it in the first half. Only 2 players have scored more than 1 goal at this tournament so far. One of them is in Slovakian blue. Ivan Schrantz scored against Belgium, scored already here. Only Jamal Musiala is the other that scored more than once in the tournament so far. Scored in the opening game against Scotland, and then scored one of Germany's 2 goals against Hungary on match day 2. So they're both the joint top goal scorers so far, with quite a number in second place. About over 40 players have scored just 1 goal in the tournament so far. Another Slovakian throw there, incoming. It was Brashko that got up for that header that time. Zinchenko with a poor bit of defending, but a slip in the middle allows Zinchenko to get the ball back. Drive in field, switch it out to the right hand side. Brought down by Timchek. Cross by Sudakov out to the left, finds Zinchenko. Brashko a bit too quick there and given away. Hanchko. Back it comes. Skriniar to Vavro. Duda under pressure. Holds on well. Finds Pekarik. To Lobotka. Nice infield touch by Schrantz. Now Duda. Better from Slovakia. Really good play. Comfortable on the ball. Here's Hanchko down the left. Plays it forward for Boschnik and tried to play it forward to Harislin, but far too much on that one from the Slovakia number 9, and we'll go out for a Ukrainian throw. Nice throw down the line. All over Dovbek there with Skriniar. We'll get the Ukrainian free kick. Zabarny. Across to Matvienko. Now Zinchenko. Mudryk. Skips past Pekarik. Down the left comes Mudryk. Lifts it early into the box. The header from Dovbek is well off target there and smashed away by Denis Vavro. Much better down the left hand side from Ukraine. Mudryk using his pace. Beat past Pekarik. Burst down the left, put the early cross in, and Dovbek got up early for it. Not the best of headers, but certainly more threatening from Ukraine down the flank there. As Hanchko clears. Back it comes. Shaparenko, and then the ball cleared away by Skriniar. Lobotka just held back there. He will get the free kick as the referee tried to play advantage, but just going to pull it back for a Slovakian free kick. See that from Mudryk. How many times have we seen him do that for Chelsea in the Premier League? Just burst past the full back and break into space, and he put the early cross in to try and find Artem Dovbek, but Dovbek's header was certainly not a clean one. Certainly not on target. Nowhere near testing Dubravka. More promising from Ukraine. Long ball over the top by Vavro. Too much for Schrantz to chase, but caught on his heels there was Zinchenko and had to be rescued away. And that time by Matvienko. Back it comes to Vavro. Now Pekarik for Slovakia. Skriniar. Through the lines to Lobotka. Keeps himself on the ball. Fantastic ball forward. That's a nice one. Finds Hansko. Chops on to his right. Out to the left to Harrislin. Gets past his man. Harrislin with a cut back. Squared across the 6-yard box. Easy catch for Trubin in the end, but Timchik had a lot of work to do to track back against Harrislin there. That's a poor pass from Yarmolenko. Given away to Kuchka, but his pass is given away the other way. And now Mudrik's on the brick here for Ukraine. He's got Dovbek ahead of him. Takes the early pass. Dovbek on the left of the 18-yard box. Teammates in there. Cuts it back. Around the left-hand side. The cross in. The shot. The goal. 1-1. Shaparenko's finish to level the game for Ukraine. Their first goal of the tournament has them on level terms in Dusseldorf. And they're not going out with a whimper out of this competition. Back in the game, back in the competition, back in the tournament. 1-1. And Slovakia's lead chalked off. Mistake from Kuchka gives it away in midfield. We've already seen Mudrik's pace show a lot of problems at the start of the second half. Broke down the middle, uncontested. Found Dovbek off the left. The cut back to the edge of the box. Sprayed out to the left-hand side. Zinchenko's cross. And in comes Mykola Shaparenko to curl it into the near corner. Pass to Bravka, who full stretch couldn't reach it. And Ukraine on level terms. 1-1. And that was really well created goal by Ukraine. Said they've looked most threatening on the counter. And that moment came from a counter-attack. Leading the charge was Mikhailo Mudryk, using his pace to his advantage. Breaking forward, getting them in a good position. And then Zinchenko, known for his good crosses. And he found a pinpoint one across the 18-yard box. Onto the foot of Shaparenko, who levelled the game. 1-1. Another first-time scorer of the competition, Shaparenko. And Ukraine might be in a good spell here. Here is Shaparenko. Yarmolenko. Now Mudryk. Back it comes. Out wide it goes to Timchik. Cross. Half cleared by Hansko. Duda trying to go for the follow-up, but Slovakia need to ride a bit of a storm here at the moment. Ukraine on the front foot and confident, feeling the momentum of that equalising goal. Trying to take as much advantage as possible. Is Yarmolenko trying to send Dovbek on the run, and Vavro will just secure that for his goalkeeper. Well, that's Mykola Shaparenko's first goal of the tournament, of course. Ukraine's first goal of the tournament. And it's Mykola Shaparenko's second goal for Ukraine. The Dynamo Kyiv player, midfielder, getting his second international goal for his country. And a pretty significant one at that, this moment in time. And with 35 minutes or so to go of this second half, there's more than enough time for more goals at either end. Skriniar. Nice touch infield from Harrislin. Linking it well with Bozhnik, but again well dispossessed in the middle. Yarmolenko finds Shaparenko. Nice switch. Brought down by Mudryk. More central. There's a Ukrainian player in a heap on the floor. Mudryk keeping the attack going. Yarmolenko does well. Trying to see who that was. I think it was Timchik. It's in a bit of a bad way. He's okay. He's up on his feet, but still holding his head for the moment. He's not particularly comfortable. It is Shaparenko. He looks to be pointing to his eye there when he was talking to the referee. It's okay, but felt there was a bit of contact in there. The referee's just going to give Ukraine an uncontested drop ball. They had the possession at the time that he stopped the game, so Drop ball will be given here. Two very well crafted goals in this game so far. Slovakia's from the quick throw in, well crafted, well fed into the back post, and the well crafted counter attack from Ukraine, and the lovely finish from Shaparenko from Zinchenko's cross. But here come Slovakia to try and respond. It's an early cross into the box, blocked by Brashko at the edge of the box. It's all about how Slovakia respond to this night. They've been pegged back for the first time in the tournament. How do they respond? It's Ukraine's first real bounce back from being behind. Be interesting how both teams react to what has just happened with that equalising goal. Martin Dubravka's clean sheets record, 4 successive clean sheets, comes to a close. Comes to an end. Ball over the top by Zabarny. Dovbyk on the run. Vavro to carry across with him. Shaparenko now. Squared across to Brashko. Sadakov. Cross in. Oh, Shaparenko there. Looping cross. Did find its way towards Dubravka. Might have caused an issue, but Martin Dubravka tracked it all the way and got the simple catch on it in the end. Ukraine look a lot more fluid, a lot more comfortable in their attacking approach in the second half, threading those passes nicely. The start of the second half, the better of the two teams, really. Slovakia are going to make a double change here in a moment and give them some extra advantage. So Andrzej Duda is going to come off. He's going to be replaced by Laszlo Benes, and Robert Bojnik is going to come off as well, and he's going to be replaced by Lubomir Tupta. So Laszlo Benes and Lubomir Tupta on, replacing Andrzej Duda and Robert Bojnik for... It's actually Strelec, not Tupta. Wrong number. It's David Strelec who's come on. Nonetheless, Ukraine on the attack. Yarmolenko, Tymczyk's cross. Couldn't find Artem Dovbyk in the middle, and Slovakia clear it away. Yarmolenko with a quick throw. On the right. In behind for Tymczyk to look for the cross. Again blocked by Hanchko. Behind for the corner. Ukraine certainly feeling the momentum. Certainly having the swing of the attacks. And trying to rile up the crowd there. Zinchenko takes the corner short. Edge of the box it comes. Shaparenko. Back to Sudakov. Shaparenko cleared away again in the middle. Rigid defending once more from Slovakia. Cleared away and looked to push out. That's not a great pass back, but initially Zabarny's pass back could have been trouble for Trubin, but ultimately it found its way to the keeper, as there was an offside flag up against Dovbyk there. Free kick. Just to correct those substitutions then, it was Laszlo Benes and David Strelec who came on. I misread the number. It's not 10, it was 18. So Strelec is on for Bojnik. So Duda and Bojnik were the two that made way, and Benes and Strelec are the two that have just come on. And a bit more potency for Slovakia here at the moment, struggling to sustain possession in good areas, although Zinchenko's cross intercepted by Hanchko, who's gone down. He's in a real bad way here. He had to kick the ball out of play when he received it there. It's gone straight down since, so that doesn't look a good sign for Slovakia. One of their most positive players, also very strong defensively as well, an all-rounder at left back. David Hanchko has performed well. He might have just kind of, as he stretched for that ball, maybe pulled a muscle. kind of his groin maybe there. That looks to be where he was holding, in and around that area. So we will receive the treatment. For the moment, we'll see how that one plays out. And Francesco Calzona there on the sidelines. Hansko back up on his feet. It looked like physio saying there's no need for a substitution there, so I think Hansko will continue with less than 30 to go, but I think Slovakia are going to make changes again. Looks like they're readying another 2 changes in a moment. One of them is Adam Obert that I saw was getting ready, and the other is going to be Tomasz Suslov. Tomasz Suslov are the 2 that are readying themselves on the sidelines as Hansko just gets strapped up for the moment. And they certainly don't want to lose one of their strongest at the moment, Slovakia. It's not long after conceding. That's the last thing you really want to do. Oh, there we are. The FIFA director, one of the FIFA directors, and former Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger, in the crowd. Wouldn't have put my bets on the 3 games that he would have arrived at today. I certainly wouldn't have put it on this one, but there he is. Timchik's cross was just overhit that one. Too high for Dubravka to get anywhere near, and it goes for the goal kick as Hansko back on the pitch, which is a good sign for Slovakia. That midfield for Ukraine has certainly improved in the second half, and it's really well worked, that goal. Shaparenko, really nice finish. Lovely cross by Zinchenko, fizzed across the box into an on-running Shaparenko, who just, with his left instep, just guided it into the bottom left corner. Really nicely worked. Referee here. The game stopped for the moment. The referee, 4th official, and chats with one of the UEFA officials down there. I don't know what that's about. Bit strange. No idea what that was all about, but we're back on the way anyway. Dubravka's kick's not convincing, and Ukraine get it back again. Although good battling by Pekarik, keeping it up the pitch and keeping it away from his own goal at the moment. As Sabarny gets it back for Ukraine. Timchik lifting it forward out to the right hand side, trying to find the run of Shaparenko there, but again we'll just overrun, and Hansko will take the throw in. I don't think he's going to carry on here, Hansko. When he was jogging back to take that throw in, again still seemed in a bit of bother. Initially Skriniar was kind of signalling to the bench to make the substitution, but Hansko resistant, wanting to stay on at the moment. And he's played that throw in, which has got them up the pitch here. Duda as Rashlet and Schrantz just couldn't get himself back on side there. Switch ball from Harashlin there, right footed, and yeah, just offside there. Schrantz probably should have done better. He could see right across the back line. Probably should have measured that better. So double change coming from both teams. Ukraine are going to make a double change. So I've just seen the introduction. Yarmolenko's just come off, so he's been replaced by Alexander Zubkov, and Dovbek's come off, and Yaremchuk has come on as well. So Roman Yaremchuk and Alexander Zubkov have come on for Ukraine. They've replaced Artem Dovbek and Andrei Yarmolenko, the captain. And the 2 changes for Slovakia are going to be Harashlin and David Hansko. So Hansko is coming off here at the moment, and Obert is going to be one of those changes, and Suslov the other. So quite a number of changes to get our heads round. 4 in total of the second half for Slovakia, 2 for Ukraine, so 6 in total. Hansko was resistant and not wanting to come off by his own volition, but his manager took it out of his own hands and decided to take the left back off. If they are going to progress Slovakia, they'll want to have him involved in the knockouts, want to have their strongest team, and they certainly don't want to lose him in the groups when they could possibly just allow him for a bit of rest to try and recover what could be just a pulled muscle that could recover in a few days. Into the final quarter of the game here in Dusseldorf. Slovakia 1, Ukraine 1. Game in the balance, as has been the case for the majority of match day 2. No one's really run away with their games. They've been very well matched, very well positioned, all of these groups, as we head into match day 3 in a few days' time. It's a nice switch ball out to Timchik. Back to Shaparenko. Across to Matvienko, and now out to the left is Zinchenko. Round the corner to find Mudryk on the run. Gets to the byline over the cutback, and Schran's tracking back, and will give away the corner to Ukraine. Left hand side. Mudryk starting to have more of an impact, certainly in this second half. Much more involved in the wide areas for Ukraine, using his pace a lot more to get Slovakia facing their own goal and running back towards their own goal on multiple occasions. And he will take this corner. Mudryk lifted into the box, headed away at the front post. Slovakia clear their lines. Once again, it was Lobotka that time. Cleared up the pitch. Shaparenko has it back. And Sudakov there. Just back to Trubin. He hasn't had massive amount of work to do in the second half there, Anatoly Trubin, in comparison to the first half, where he had quite a number of saves to make early on. So far in the second half, he hasn't had a save to make. The Ukrainian keeper. And we're 25 minutes into the second half, which is a promising sign for Ukraine defensively. And with their only shot on target of the second half, they found their equaliser. So certainly a lot tighter, a lot more tentative from both teams in the second period so far. Dubravka with a long kick forward. Well won by Matvienko. Lobotka couldn't keep it in midfield, as Ukraine maybe have the slight advantage in that area at the moment, as Zinchenko tries to ride a few challenges. Lobotka ends up on the floor, and we'll get the free kick off the Ukrainian substitute. There, Zubkov. Yeah, Lobotka just turned back against Zubkov and used his body to push him onto the floor. It is a foul against Lobotka. Skriniar. Very even in terms of the attempts. Ukraine 1 more than Slovakia. 9 to Slovakia's 8, but Slovakia still more shots on target. 5 to Ukraine's 3. Shaparenko again closed down, but again much higher pressing from Ukraine in the second half. They showed a glimpse of that at the end of the first half, and they started to really get a bit of control in midfield when they pushed up the pitch a bit more, when they committed more bodies in midfield, and starting to see the joys of that shine through. They start to control. I said that in that first half that Slovakia's midfield started to lose a bit of control, not being as threatening in the second half. Like Lobotka, Duda, or Kuchka. I've seen Duda being swapped out here for the final 20. Skriniar to Obert down the line. He's having to face his own goal, Sushlov there, and will win the free kick for the Tug. And the possession certainly 50-50 over the game so far. Slovakia the better of it in the first half. Ukraine the better of it in the second half, which has us at the moment at Slovakia just slightly edging it overall, 52% to 48. So very little between the two sides on all stats at the moment. There's Slovakia well there. They do get out down the right. Pekarik with the throw in now. Infield, Lobotka under pressure. Played it through the lines. Nice work. Finding Kuchka there in between the lines. Now Obert. Going to break down the left and not having the same impact that Hansko did, and will end up giving away the foul there. Adam Obert there. Just a bit wasteful. Timchik. Going to take the free kick quickly, Ukraine. Not looking to wait around. Matvienko. Trubin. To Zabarny. Back to Anatoly Trubin. Well, these two have certainly got tough tasks in their third games, no matter what the result out of this one. Slovakia facing Romania on match day 3. Ukraine, Belgium is their opponents. As Timchik comes down the right, the cross is well marshalled by Obert. And now Suslov trying to get Slovakia on the break. He's beat past his man. And they have a bit of an overload here down the right hand side. Duda, not the best of balls. It carries Pekarik wide, but he will keep it alive and keep the attack going. Pekarik steps in field. Pekarik to take the shot. Pretty tame one. Back out to him. Second chance here. Edge of the box, right hand side. Closed down again. Well defended by Ukraine. As Zinchenko does really well. Tracking it back. Mudrik's ball. Nicely taken on the spin. And on the counter attack here. Yaremchuk. Mudrik force wide. Has the shot off the post and well dealt with by Slovakia ultimately. But really good outcome for Ukraine. They're on the counter attack. Their most threatening opportunities so far have come on the counter. And they've really had a massive threat on those positions as the ball's just booted out of play here, and Mudrik looks in a bit of bother after that moment. Yaremchuk, nicely weighted ball, just carried it wide slightly on Mudrik there, put him in a tighter angle, and Dubravka made the save there with his knee. Yeah, it was on his knee. Hit the post off his knee. Ultimately a good save by Dubravka there. Mudrik again carried wide, tracked all the way by Skriniar. The keeper was always closing down that left post, so it was never going to sneak in, but just came crashing off the left upright for Mudrik. But Yaremchuk's counter-attacking pace that he's been brought on to use and to cause a threat with has posed a threat there and almost got Ukraine a good counter-attacking chance. And with 15 to go, they knew coming into this one, Ukraine, this was a must-win. A must at least get something out of heading into the final day, knowing that Belgium will be their toughest task yet on match day 3. And they'll know they'll need a good haul of points to secure it. Slovakia, a point wouldn't be a bad result for them. They'd still top the group as it stands and wouldn't be able to be toppled heading into match day 3, so they would lead the way unless Romania beats Belgium tomorrow. That would change the game. A draw or a win for Romania tomorrow would put them top heading into match day 3, but Slovakia or Romania, as it stands, with this ending a draw, would be top of the group heading into those final match day 3 fixtures to come next week, which both kick off at the same time, obviously. But Ukraine pushing to just possibly try and get a late winner here in Dusseldorf, which has certainly not been short of viewing so far, those late goals. Here's a shot, took a deflection, helps to keep the attack alive. Sedakov, Shaparenko was in with a challenge. The referee said there was no foul. Slovakia trying to clear away but can't get out at the moment. Suslov there is the one down in the box. I don't know if the referee's going to pause the game here. He blew the whistle. See it again. I mean, it's 50-50 between Shaparenko and Suslov there. It's not a foul. Both going to reach for the ball. I mean, Suslov does get the first touch, but he has the right to go for the ball there, Shaparenko. Would feel pretty harshly done by if he was given the foul against him there. Suslov okay to continue after receiving that quick bit of treatment. Maybe that could be an idea from Slovakia, just trying to put a stumbling block in the game, take the momentum out of it, allow Ukraine to maybe lose their rhythm a bit. Could cause a threat themselves, but well, the way this game's going, Ukraine are on top and pushing, although that's a nice break now, down the right. Here for Slovakia. Can they keep it alive? That's nice in between the lines. Duda or Kuchka there was involved. Ball forward. Into the box, Benish was the closest, but Zabarny got the better of him. Put it out for a Slovakian throw. Both still a threat in the later stages. Ukraine have shown a bit more in the last 5-10 minutes, but Slovakia still not out of it. Still very much within a chance of their own of maybe getting a late winner. That's still very much on the cards. Trubin. Matvienko. To Zinchenko. As Slovakia try and push and press high, but Ukraine have stayed calm, stayed composed, and will get the space to play out now with Zabarny. Ilya Zabarny. Across the Matvienko. Down the left to Zinchenko. Mikola Matvienko. Through the line, Shaparenko does well. Picks up the loose ball in space. Chops it over the top, looking for Yaremchuk. Oh, and it's rolled and in! Bundled its way into the net. And it's Roman Yaremchuk. And Ukraine have the turnaround in Dusseldorf. Could be a huge 3 points for Ukraine. From the first half trailing, they've shown much more character, much more fight, and much more attacking quality than they did against Romania. And they've shown it in this second half. Shaparenko with the first. Good break down the right-hand side. The ball over the top is wonderfully weighted. The first touch by Yaremchuk, and took it down. Too hesitant from Dubravka, and he just toe pokes it to roll it over the goal line and bundled into his own net there by one of the defenders. I think it was Skriniar that was tracking back. That's wonderful from Yaremchuk, and a goal most certainly needed by Ukraine that could end up causing a massive 3 points and gets them certainly well back in the mix in this group. It is Slovakia 1, Ukraine 2 in Dusseldorf. But they've certainly been the better side in the second half. Ukraine much more threatening, much more control. They lost their way a bit, Slovakia, from the first half, and it's now an equaliser they're looking for late in the game. With 10 to go, there's more than enough time for it to come. Whether they can conjure up enough chances to get there. No shots on target yet in the second half, but Kuchka still threatening from the edge of the box. Lobotka now. Out to the right-hand side. Cross delivered in again. Easily dealt with at the back post by Timchuk, but kept up the pitch by Obert. Now down the line to Suslov, who will lift it back into the middle. Up with a header, but that one will be directed wide by Kuchka. And easily gathered for Ukrainian goal kick. I said on the break is where they looked the most threatening, Ukraine. They broke down the right with Shaparenko. They wonderfully weighted a ball over the top. Yaremchuk on the run. The two touches he makes were absolutely deafening and incredible. Two deft touches, and the first one and the second one is just to take it down and just roll it into the net. Is pure class, and Skriniar does his ever best to try and keep it out, but the ball had already done all the work and crossed the line, and that could be a massive, massive goal for Ukraine. A point would have put them in a difficult position heading into match day 3 against Belgium, but 3 points gives them a lot of confidence, a lot of belief, and all they would need is a point out of that final game. 4 points is the magic number, as we say, and by the end of today, before Romania and Belgium play tomorrow, we could have 3 of our 4 teams on 3 points. Slovakia still in the top 2. Romania would retain top spot again. Slovakia in second, and Ukraine in third. Belgium bottom of the group without a single point. That's the way it would look. Belgium still to play on match day 2, of course, against Romania tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. This could be a very close fight in this group. On match day 3, it could be anybody's game. Anybody that could do the job of getting through. Lobotka. Vavro. Out to Pekarik. Back to Lobotka. It's Slovakia that have the pushing to do. Skriniar to run forward and hacked out there by Yaremchuk. Yaremchuk got the better of him on the goal. And Skriniar got the better of him on that occasion, winning the free kick for Slovakia. Getting them up the pitch. Maybe a good opportunity here for this set piece. Roman Yaremchuk given a yellow card as well for that challenge. Certainly heavily involved. Goal and a yellow card. Certainly in the mix. As Slovakia ready for this free kick. Kuchka will take it right-footed and will rocket it over the bar into the stands. And that is a really not well worked free kick at all. Really poor from Juraj Kuchka. Should do so much better there. As Ukraine are going to make their 2 final changes. Sorry, not their 2 final changes. Their next 2 changes. Another double incoming. Mikolenko's going to make way. It's going to be one of the changes. And the other is going to be Brashko. So Mudryk and Brashko coming off. And they're going to be replaced by Serhiy Sidorchuk. Serhiy Sidorchuk. And the other change is Ruslan Malinovsky. So Malinovsky and Sidorchuk on, replacing Mudryk and Brashko for Ukraine. I've done another double. And it looks like Slovakia are going to make their next change. There would be their final change of the game. They've given the ball away there in the final third, but flag was up against one of the Ukrainian players there. Overplayed it, Obert. And that was the 1-2, and it was just saying who was offside. That was Zubkov that was offside. That change by Slovakia has seen their goal scorer at the moment, Ivan Šranc, scored both of their goals so far in the competition. He's been replaced later on by Leo Sauer. The 18-year-old Feyenoord forward has come on. The youngster trying to rescue this. Here he is. Instantly involved well there. Nice jink forward and wins a free kick. That's the type of energy they wanted there. Slovakia, quick moving. And they'll get a set piece here. Laszlo Benes to take. Left-hand side. 3.5 plus additional time to go. Slovakia 2-1 down. Looking to rescue an equaliser here somewhere. Cross comes in, back post. Up and cleared away by Trubin comfortably again. Out for the throw-in. Trubin's been a real stalwart in goal for Ukraine this afternoon. Made some huge saves. And just been all-round comfortable on the ball. Commanding presence in the box. As Obert just rides the challenge there down the left. Sauer in behind, but the run made there. The cutback is gone behind for a goal kick in the end there. Ultimately coming off Strelic. And you can just feel Slovakia, who had the lead, maybe just too much to do now at this late stage. They had the lead, they were pegged back not long into the second half, and Yaremchuk could be knocking the late and crucial blow to this Slovakian team, who were wonderful in the first half. Certainly the better side, and deservedly had the lead in the first half, but Ukraine have battled back, shown that resilience and resolution that we've seen from the very determined Ukrainian side in the qualifiers and in previous competitions. They've shown that those similar traits here this afternoon, and it's got them back in this game and leading in the latter stages. Here's Sower. Leo Sower there, had the last touch. Tried to break past his man, but will be a Ukraine throw in their own half. Both sides have certainly thrown what they've got at it this afternoon. They've certainly put in their heart and their fight in this game. You can't begrudge them of that. Interestingly, game 7 of match day 2, and this would only be the third win of the second match day so far. 4 other draws previously, as Obert there wins the corner off Timchik. And a chance here from a set piece as set piece taker Benej just kisses the ball, hoping that it's gonna be a pinger of a cross here. Try and find one of his teammates as Sushilov comes over to get a bit of insider info. Might leave the short option here available. Sushilov, Benej readies, whips the ball in, flicked onto the front post, but all the way through, no one there to get on that flick on from Vavro, and will bounce all the way through for a goal kick. The camera was on Strelic there. It looked like Vavro got the header in the front post, but nonetheless comes to nothing, and it will be a goal kick for Ukraine. And Trubin will take his time. No quick rush. It was Vavro that got the header at the front post. I knew it wasn't. My eyes weren't deceiving me. Might have took a slight deflection off Matvienko, but officials didn't see so. But goal kick, probably the right decision on the balance of things. And we enter the 5 added minutes at the end of the game here in Dusseldorf. And there is time. But is there that clinical edge, that finish that they need, Slovakia, to secure what would be ultimately a pretty big point, and would be a detrimental collapse of Ukraine? Their comeback has been full of desire, but conceding late on would really trump their day as one where they had it in their grasp. They'll get the corner here, Slovakia, where they had it in their grasp, Ukraine, and threw it all away. But 1 point from this game would, as I said, leave them in a difficult position heading into the final game against Belgium. They'd have to beat Belgium to have a chance of going through. Anything other than that would leave them in the hands of every other team in the competition for a possible best thirds position, which could also be without their grasp even if they don't win against Belgium on the final day. Anyway, Ukraine are going to make their final change of the game then, and the man who scored the equaliser, Shaparenko, is going to make way, and he's going to be replaced by Maxim Talavrov. As the corner whipped in, headed down to the near post, Vavro kicks it. That was a good opportunity. If he'd have caught that cleanly, it would have had a really good effort on goal. And it's Talavirov. Sorry, just mispronounced that name, but that's the player that's made way. That's come on here for Shaparenko. Laid on for Ukraine. That will give them confidence, Slovakia, that opportunity. They don't need confidence, they need a goal. Here's Lobotka. Overhit that pass, and again the late challenge. The referee said it was a fair challenge, but in the end, Slovakia will end up giving away the throw-in down the left-hand side, which doesn't help them whatsoever. Well won by Sudkov. Sudkov there involved. It's a late challenge by Benes, and look at that. The roar from Sudkov when he saw the referee point for a Ukrainian throw. That's what it means to those players at the moment. What this victory would mean for them. And that is a real team spirit from Ukraine that they've shown in this one. Something they completely lacked in the first game. They had no cohesion, kind of fluidity, no control. They couldn't pass between each other whatsoever. They couldn't string 2 or 3 passes together in the first game, and completely destroyed by Romania. But they've turned it around. They've got a response, and they've shown that they are still within a fighting chance of a knockout place in the group. 2 minutes to go, and Ukraine have the ball down the right hand side. Will be a Slovakia throw there. Did come off Ukrainian substitute Sidorchuk last there. "90 seconds to go. Obert. Slovakia. Long diagonal from Obert. Away by Zinchenko. Brought down nicely. Nice chop and fail, but again closed down by Zinchenko. Vavro. Lobotka. To Obert. Down the line to Sower. Right-footed delivery from Sower. Headed away by Zinchenko again. Lobotka will receive once more. Last minute of the 95. One more opportunity, surely, for Slovakia later on. Can they take it? Skriniar tried to shoot from about 35 yards, and that was quite easily blocked by the Ukrainian centre-forward Yaremchuk, as Vavro steps in field. Back to Skriniar. Have to get it into the box here, Slovakia. A Sower, keeping it alive, does find Benes. Nice Skriniar down the right. He's got it to Suslov. Tracked all the way by Sudakov, and Suslov will be a goal kick. And that may be just that. Laid on. Suslov probably should have tried to win the corner there instead of trying to go past Sudakov. Give them one last set piece maybe, but in the end it will be a Ukrainian goal kick, and could be a pretty huge victory in Dusseldorf. Long kick up, and that's the final whistle. Ukraine have done it. Come from behind, trailing at half-time again as they did in the first game. Showed no character against Romania, but showed every single trait that we've seen from Ukraine over the last few years in the second half, and fought back hard and won ultimately in the end. Slovakia kind of wilted and faltered in the second half, lost their control, lost their composure, couldn't hold on as they did against Belgium, and end up falling to defeat. 2 goals from Shaparenko and Yaremchuk, securing 3 points for Ukraine. A huge 3 points that sees them well back in the mix of Group E, alongside Romania and Slovakia. Belgium with a lot of work to do. Final score in Dusseldorf. It is Slovakia 1, Ukraine 2. There we are. There's the confirmation of our first result of the day. 2 Group D games to come for you later on. Poland taking on Austria from 5, and Netherlands-France from 8. That Poland-Austria game is the battle for to get themselves on the points board. Neither of them got anything out of their first games, and both would want to get points on the board. If it ends a draw on that one, the Netherlands or France could have a real shot at qualification for the knockouts a bit later on. Poland-Austria to come in about an hour's time. For now, thanks for your company. See you shortly. Cheers.